Shalom, Israel, shalom. I want to give honor and thanks to the Most High God for the blessing and the reading and the understanding of His Word. Y'all just tuned into another episode of Common Sense Ain't So Common, so let's get it. Today's topic is one of my favorite ones. We're going to talk about the Chariots of Fire. All right? We're going to talk about the Most High God's chariots. I know what a lot of us think in the Christian church. We think that when we talk about Christ coming back on the chariot, we thinking about the horse and buggy thing, like he's going to be riding on the horse and buggy. It's not the case at all. That's not what the Most High, that's what we call chariots, okay? But the Most High has the true name of what he calls chariots, all right? So we're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4, so we can start getting an understanding of what this word really means, okay? So I'm going to just start right here. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Okay? So, for one, the whirlwind is what God, like a tornado. A lot of people don't know what a whirlwind is. A whirlwind is a tornado, and a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself. So imagine seeing one of them, they show on TV, them orbs of light or them balls of lights, and you see it's pulsating or whatever, look like a fire enfolding on itself. All right, so just to get the clearer understanding of that, we're going to jump over. We're going to go to, let me see where I want to go. We're going to go to Nahum. We're going to go to Nahum chapter 1 and verse 3 so we can get a clearer understanding. All right? Here we go. The book of Nahum chapter 1 verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. That means he ain't going to let it slide, y'all. Okay? Moving on. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Okay, you see what he said? He has his way in the whirlwind. That means when you see those tornadoes and stuff, like that's going on down south and things of that nature, that's him. That's conducted by him. He does that on purpose because he's giving judgment to the land. Now, we see stuff and we look and we say, dang, that's messed up, man. They got all the tornadoes down there and it's bad. But the thing we never think about is how much wickedness is going on in them places. All right? There's a lot of wickedness that's going around in the world that we don't know about. All we see is the tragedy that happens that follows thereof. So, and guess what? And we don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? We judge it and we want to pray for them and all of that. And that's good too and all, you know what I mean? But we don't know the wicked that goes on in these towns where them tornadoes come through. And if you pay attention, it's recorded that everywhere the tornadoes go through in the United States is the exact trail of the Atlantic slave trade. You get a chance, look that up. You're going to find out. They said it never happened to after the Atlantic slave trade that they get the tornadoes always go through the exact path where they was passing the slaves, us out at. So, you get a chance, look into that, man. You know what I'm saying? Feed your mind. Feed your mind, not your body. All right, so we're going to go over to Psalms. We're going to go to Psalms chapter 104, verse 3. I'm going to go verse 3. So we can get a more better idea. We got to break it down some more. There's a lot of people that don't understand that, and that's okay. We can explain it. All right? But I'm going to start at the top so we can get a clearer picture. Book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots. You see that right there? He maketh the clouds his chariots. So what we be thinking is clouds. Okay, there is clouds, but that's nothing but vapor and water. Okay? But when the Most High calls something his clouds, he talking about them chariots. Okay? So we moving on. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind. All right? Who maketh, verse 4, who maketh his angels spirits his ministers a flaming fire. All right? And I just want to read verse 5 because I just love this book. Who laid the foundations of the earth that it should not be removed forever. So this earth ain't going nowhere. I know a lot of us talk about the end of the world. What we mean by the end of the world is the end of Esau's world. And the beginning of is Jacob's, the beginning of their follow. You know what I'm saying? So it's the end of a world, but not ours. Our world will last forever. You know what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High Yah. Our world will last forever. Okay? Jacob's world is not going to be no ending to it. It's going to be forever and ever. Amen. All right? All right, so let's move on. Let's go. Let's go a little further. Okay? We're going to look at we're going to go to 2 Kings. Let's go to 2 Kings. Bear with me, y'all. We'll go to 2 Kings so we can find out more about these chariots. I ain't gonna lie, because I love them things, man. You know what I'm saying? I always had an infatuation with when I was in the world, like UFOs and things of that nature. I always had an infatuation with it. Like, man, something with them things. Like, I know everything people think has a logical explanation, but it's something that's not going to be so logical. Like, what is that thing that's flying in the sky? And why can't nobody catch it? You know what I'm saying? That just would be questions I used to ask. You know what I'm saying? So, guess what? Now, in the book that's been laying around us for our whole lives, tells us exactly what it is. You know what I mean? And we think, then we start to think that it's supposed to look like how America makes their crafts. We think it's supposed to look like an airplane, so we can be able to identify it easy. No, that's not how God made his chariots. You understand? That's not how he made his chariots at all. He made his way more advanced than what we can ever imagine. Okay, so just that, man. We're gonna keep moving on though, because I got a lot to touch on. All right, we're gonna go to 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 12. I want to do chapter 2, verse 12. No, I'm gonna start at 11. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire. There go that word again, chariot of fire. Remember that word. And horses of fire. Okay, now let me stop right there. Because what the Most High calls horses too, he give his chariots a lot of nicknames. All right, he called them chariots, chariots of fire, horses of fire, whirlwinds. He give his chariots a lot of nicknames. That's where we get our swag from. We nickname all type of stuff. We got people that go around here. I used to do it. We nickname our cars. You know what I'm saying? You call it what you want to call it, right? Because it's your car. That's what the Most High does. All right? All right, moving on. And parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. You see that? That's when the Most High came and took Elijah off. Okay, and Elisha saw it. All right, Elisha was another student of Elijah and that followed Elijah. Okay? All right, moving on. Verse 12, we're going to explain it in more detail. Verse 12. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel. See that? The chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his clothes and rent them in two pieces. So he took hold of his clothes, rent them in two pieces, and he ripped them apart. You know what I'm saying? And you notice that his clothes was left behind. That means, this physical body and all of this, when we get took up on chariots, you're not going to be in your clothes. You're going to be in new garments. That don't mean you're going to be walking around naked. That's not what that means. You're going to be in newer garments and a new body, and you're going to do amazing things. Thus saith the Lord, man. All right? So we're going to keep moving on. All right, let's get it. This is one of my favorite parts. We're going to go to chapter 6. I'll tell you, this book is rated R, y'all. I'm going to telling you now, this thing gets deep. We've been sitting on this thing all our lives, and I know it had this much power in it. All right. 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? Okay, stop. Let me explain what he's saying. Now, when it's saying horses and chariots, it's talking about the army. The army getting ready to come and raid them. You know what I'm saying? The word was illegal around them times, and they was coming to, do them in. And he looks over the hill and he see a hill full of horses and chariots coming. And he went to go and warn Elisha. All right. Now watch this. Verse 16. And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So they, at this point, the students, you know what I'm saying, the disciples, they looking like, this man not tripping. It's an army outside. Imagine you come and somebody get ready to raid the house, and you come and tell your buddy, your leader or whatever, hey, they coming to raid, and this armies, the helicopters and everything out there. And he just like tripping, like, oh, don't worry, it's more of us than it is of them. But you look around and you only see about 4 or 5 of y'all, like, where is more of us than them? Now watch this. This is where it's going to get good. I love this part right here. All right. Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Do you know what he just did? Okay, for one, the Lord was dealing with Elisha, so Elisha had the vision to see what was really around. That means chariots and all that. Only time we see chariots is when they manifest themselves, but Elisha saw them all. So when he prayed for the Most High to take the veil off his eyes so he could see, because we all got that veil. We can't see the things that's in the other dimensions or what have you, unless they manifest themselves, unless the Lord allows it. But when he prayed for Elisha to open his eyes and see, now imagine you see that same army that had you scared. All right. And you see all this army, and then all of a sudden your eyes open even more. You can see all these chariots everywhere covering the sky. You kind of going to bug out, man. You're going to be like, what the hell is I'm looking at? And all praises to the Most High for that. I'm telling you, man, our Father always defended us, man. We got to learn that, man. And he'll defend us again. We go back to keeping his laws and commandments, because that's another reason why society don't want you to follow this book. Because when you start reading and getting further in this book, you're going to find out we did a lot of magnificent things when we had the Most High leading us. Not us leading ourselves, not us, doing me, leading with the Most High. This is our banner, y'all. And he said, wave this banner on the high mountain. That's our banner. When we put our Father back in the forefront, it's things where it's a lot of time we didn't even have to raise our hands. Our Father fights for his children, y'all. And that's a real thing. He really loves his kids, and he fights for them. You better believe it. All right, let's go on. We're going to go to Zechariah 5:1. Let's play around in Zechariah. You know what I mean? Because, and the thing is, this whole fight that we're going through right now is because we defied our Father, okay? Whether you like it or not, we were hard-headed, bad kids. And our version of spanking our kids versus the way the Most High spank his kids are totally different. His ways is not of your ways. His thoughts is not of your thoughts. All right? You might pull out a belt and spank your kid, right? All right? Well, the Most High might pull out a spirit and kill you. All right? Because the thing is, you got to remember, we're going to miss that person. But that means the Most High seeing him face to face now. Once he kill him, get your tail up here. Let me talk to you. Come here. That's how he says come here. You don't want him to say come here if you're in sin, okay? You do not want that smoke, y'all. I guarantee you don't want that smoke. Maybe y'all do. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got a lot of hardcore dummies out here. I mean, I fear the Most High for real, so I'm not going to test that ground, okay? I'm not going to test it and play with them like that. I ain't going to take no chances, okay? So anyways, moving on. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Hold on. Where we at? Okay, this is Salakia. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. This book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1. Let's get it. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Now, this is another prophet explaining how this certain craft looks. This chariot, it looked like a flying roll. So it would look like, all right, this kind of not going to do it, but it's kind of looking like this. And he's seeing this thing in the sky, a giant version of that, okay? It's a huge, and like a flying roll. That's the only thing at that time he could compare it to of something that he's seen in his day and age. So when he said a flying roll, that's what he said. That's what he meant. All right, verse 2. And said unto me, what seest thou? That's the angel asking him what he see. And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. See what I'm saying? Them chariots, them things bring noise. They bring drama. They bring heat. So a lot of times when y'all seeing them tornadoes that's going on down south, guess who constructing them things? The Most High and His angels. They got chariots that manifest some of these hurricanes and tornadoes. You know what I'm saying? When you look up, and you can look it up too for yourself. They've had some of them where they said they seen UFOs right before tornadoes hit their town. They were seeing funny, strange objects in the sky, and then when they saw the tornado, they didn't see the object no more. All right, that's your kinfolk. All right, that's your people that's doing that thing. All right, so we're gonna dip some more. All right, we're gonna move right.